Merry Christmas everyone and welcome to my video. Thanks for tuning in. This video is about making your own wreath for your front door. So my first tip to you before you get started is when you go to buy your Christmas tree, hopefully it's real, ask for loads of offcuts. Firstly though, my other bit of advice would be to ask for a noble fir tree if you're in Ireland especially. Made that mistake last year and we ended up with a ton of needles all over the floor. So when you go, as I said, ask for your offcuts. They fill in gaps in your tree. You can make wreaths, you can make garlands for your stairs, or in my case, the balcony in the front of the house. Ask for as many as you can get because you'll need more than you can think. So let's get started. So what I like to start off with is a former. So last year I bought a really tacky cheap garland or wreath online and I ripped everything off it and started from scratch, kept the former. The whole thing just cost me about $4.99 on sale just before Christmas. So I gained from that. What I took off it, I actually managed to use as a garland elsewhere in the house and it looks fab. So I've started off, I went foraging and I got some lovely holly. And this year I've noticed that a lot of the holly is very berry rich, and it's probably because of the fact that it's been warm this year anyway, and lots of berries. That's going to be beautiful on the wreath. Went foraging also and got some more of this kind of evergreen stuff, which is sort of nice. It is to add a little bit of texture to the pine. These are my offcuts from the Christmas trees. And these are the evergreens that I bought. So you can see it looks a bit more rich. There's different textures in there as well. And then I got some eucalyptus from my local florist, which I'm going to snip and add as well. What I recommend that you have if you're going to make a wreath, first of all, is a really good secateurs. They're not expensive, but get a good one if you can. They cut really good, heavy, chunky pieces of wood very easily. Also, I recommend getting gardening gloves because when you take out this holly, you're going to end up with little pieces ripped out of your hands. It's not a nice thing to experience. Next, what you're going to need is some of this florist's twine or gardener's twine. I got this in my local hardware store. So what you're going to use this for is actually attaching your evergreens and your fir to your former. Very crucial piece. You can use a kind of a hobby twine, like, I don't know, like a parcel twine. It's tangled in my drawer. You can use like a parcel twine. It's fine, but you're going to see it. It's not very nice. This blends in, covers a multitude. Then, from last year, I still have the wires on these. They're fantastic. You can get these in little Christmas stores and they're already scented with oils, and then you can buy oils for them as well just to re-scent it. Little oils with frankincense, clove, orange, mandarin, whatever you want to use, whatever is in your bag, use that. But I'm going to wire these on. Then, as I mentioned earlier on Instagram, I bought this little bag of goodies. This guy from Hungary comes over every year to the gifted fair at the RDS and he has the most amazing display of dried fruits and dried woods and oils, and his stand, you can smell it outside the exhibition hall, it's that strong. But I have everything from crushed cinnamon to orange to bay leaves to chilies, apple, oranges, limes, the whole lot. So I'm going to use some of these pieces rather than taking the time to dry out the orange myself in the oven, which can take up to about 8 hours. So saves me time and money as well, an electricity bill. Then how I'm going to attach my wreath to my door is with grosgrain ribbon. I have bought wreath holders for my door, but I have a composite door and it won't sit over it, unfortunately. I'm also not going to go and drill any holes in my door, so this is what I do. This ribbon is fantastic. It's a nice heavy duty grosgrain. It's about 1.5 inches wide. Let's see, so it's exactly 40 millimeters width, so that's 4 centimeters. Fabulous on your door, looks really rich, it doesn't crease easily. Then I've got bunches of cinnamon, which are fabulous together. Get those in your supermarket, tie them together with some parcel twine. Add a little bell if you want to as well. Makes it sound really cute when you're opening your front door. And that's about it. So let's get started. When it comes to hanging your wreath on your door, just bear in mind that most people now have a composite door. You can't drill a hole in these or you're going to damage it. Also, over the door wreath hangers don't really work because this is what it's like at the top of the door. So my advice would be to go and buy yourself some command strips. Stick them upside down on the back of the door. And this is where you're going to hang your ribbon from to hang your wreath. And it's also easily removed by pulling this tab. So I'm going to take a good chunk of this off. I still have some wire left in my former from last year, but I'm not really bothered about that because it's going to, it is just going to be hidden anyway with holly and evergreens. So literally just going to twist this around a few times. If you have a pliers, use them. In fact, I think I'm going to go and get my pliers now as well because you can actually manage to pull it a lot tighter when it's on when the evergreens are underneath. It's a bit more secure. So now, what I'm going to do next, I'm going to put my gardening gloves on. I don't know why I have gardening gloves. I can't even grow a herb. I can't even keep a herb alive, so yeah, I'll leave that to the professionals. These are brilliant. They're sort of got like a little silicone on them, so the holly, you can touch the holly and you can grab it and it's not going to hurt you as much as it would if it was bare, your bare hands. It's a bit too long. So I'm going to find myself a nice piece. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to hold it as if you're going to make a little bouquet in your hand. So first I'm going to put that down. Grab a little bit of evergreen. I don't know what this is called, but it's kind of weedy evergreen. It's lovely. I'll get a bit of eucalyptus, I think. Now unfortunately my eucalyptus has gone kind of dry. I bought it last week for the purpose of making a wreath and I've had it in water and for some reason it's just not liked my kitchen so much. So, break this off. Eucalyptus is lovely at Christmas. Okay. I might actually leave the holly off and insert it at the end. There. So Christmas tree, evergreen, a couple of pieces of eucalyptus fanned out a little bit. And I'm actually going to turn the former around so it's raised away from the door so air gets in behind the wreath on my door. So if it does perish, it's not going to look really bad on my door. I've had problems this year with things staining wood around my house, so and plants and stuff. Now. It's also important that you don't let the wire get too long because like this is going to get really, really tricky to try and wrap it around if you have to try and thread all that wire through. So this is what I've done now. So I'm going to pull some of this back. This was the only one I could find when I was shopping, but if you can get your wire on like a thread spool, oh my gosh, that would be even better. You would not know yourself. This is just a pain in the backside. So anyway, I've attached my little bundle. I'm going to wrap that tightly a couple of times. Nice and tight. In fact, I think my husband has left his wire pincher around, so I'm going to go and grab that. I have my own, but it's buried upstairs. Yeah, so I've got the wires together. That's a really, really annoying spool of wire. So don't buy that one. Okay. Just going to push this down a bit more. I'm actually going to snip a bit of this off because you shouldn't really use your secateurs for wire, but I forgot to bring my wire clippers down. So So now I have that wrapped around the bow, that little bouquet that I've made. So I'm just going to secure it again on the former. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to move it up a little bit as well, just to get my shape going. Every year I swear I'm going to get an Oasis wreath, but they're so heavy. The upside is that you can keep your flowers lovely and fresh. You can actually put flowers in there, but I kind of like just a green wreath for my door. So again, I'm making a little bouquet of Christmas tree, of fir, not animal fir, noble fir. So I've made a little bouquet again, a little bit more evergreen. A little bit of eucalyptus. And I'm going to attach that just, so I have that there, I'm going to attach this about here. So it's almost 3/4 from where I started. I want this to be a nice big chunky full wreath. So the closer you overlap them, the fuller it's going to look. Hand, I pull. I have calloused hands anyway from making stuff, so I probably recommend using a flat nose pliers just to pull it out a bit, otherwise you're going to cut yourself with a wire and I don't want that. Okay. It's nice and full already. So basically you just continue this all the way around. Again. It also helps if you have all your pieces pre-cut as well. It's going to save you a lot of time. Eucalyptus. Really starting to take shape. And in the end, if you're not happy and there's some flyaway bits, use your secateurs and cut them off. It's absolutely fine. There are no rules in making a wreath, really. You kind of make it how you want to make it, and that's all there is to it. Now, when you get offcuts at the end of the tree, there's going to be a lot of brown needles. Try and cut them off. They're dead. They're going to shed off anyway. So just ignore them. Keep them to the side. And where did my wire? There it is. You see it's starting to take shape? By the time you work all the way around, it's going to be extremely full, so. There we go, I'm just going to tie that off. You should have seen me when I was trying to pull these out. I was literally standing in a hedgerow trying to pull out little bits of greenery and holly. See, this has gone very dry. So I don't know how much more of that eucalyptus I will use. You know what? Let's stitch that piece. The beauty of buying a cheap wreath, a cheap plastic one in the bargain stores, yeah, it's not exactly eco-friendly, but you know what? You're getting two for the price of one, really. You're getting to keep your former when you strip it, and then, as I did last year, you get to keep your greenery that you pull off. But sometimes if you're lucky, it'll be long like a garland, and you can put it somewhere else. So I folded it in half, all the white berries were still there. There were pine cones on it, they were still there, and I got to use it for a centerpiece, wrapped around my candles. So it actually turned out lovely in the end. So now we've got the basic shape going on here. It's starting to look really good. So now I'm going to start adding in some holly, maybe a few more extra little bits, and my eucalyptus is starting to crunch away. Yeah, so now I'm going to put the gloves on because this is the crucial bit. I don't fancy any bites from the holly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just trim this a bit. And instead of just wiring this in, oh, I'm just flown that across the kitchen. I just want to slot this into where the wires are. It'll go in nicely itself. You find a little groove for it, and you will. There you go. Because I feel if I go to wire that up now, I'm going to damage it. I may reinforce it all once I have it all placed, but we'll see. And I like to kind of, I've bits that I got here. I've got 4 nice big long bits, so I'm going to try and space them out accordingly so it's not all lopsided. And because I've got a nice long stem, I can shoot that in there. You will find you'll slide under some wires there. It's a little bit too high up. You'll lose a few berries, but that's okay. Want some more wire. I've got my pine cones. I'm going to go around the edge. Just twist that. Just have a nice little spot. Tie it off. Wire. Around, twist it. until guy from last year. I'm going to trim that off. Through. I'm going to get another. No. Oh, smells so good. Same thing, just go through, twist it. Slot her in somewhere else. Tie your knot in the wire. It doesn't have to be that secure because it is going to stay in place. Yeah. You can play with that and then make it sit somewhere nice. Now I'm switching camera angles. So now you can see I've added in my bit of fruit there on the bit of wire, so you can see how I've wired it in. The preserved orange, the pine cones, that's what it looks like. So stand back, have a good look at it. I might put another orange here. Another full one like this guy here. I might put him in there. And a couple more bits. And then I'm going to put my lights in. But when I put the lights in, I'm literally going to put them underneath. So I don't want to see all those, the wires are white. So I don't want to see them. So I'm going to pop them underneath some of the foliage. And yes, I'm happy with this so far. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to attach my Grow Grain ribbon that I used last year. It really complements all the berries. So rather than tie it around the actual wreath, I'm going to attach it to the former. Wrap it around. You can see now I've pulled it through. And that is ready to hang on the door. Just tie a nice little double knot in it. You want to give yourself about 1 metre to put it over the door, maybe a bit more, because you can always tie it down shorter once you find out where you want to put it. So now I'm going to tie myself, or unspool myself a nice big length of ribbon to tie a bow. Get a scissors. And the best thing is, I think if you turn the lights off, you can see what it looks like. So, you get a great idea what it's going to look like. And also you can see if you space the lights out properly. So I'm going to take my jug out from underneath. And I'm going to hang this here. So I want to have a little bow now. Now I'm going to tie a bow around my wreath. It's lovely kind of like a mixed smell of like marmalade and pine. I'm going to crush all your holly there. So just pull that through. I'm going to turn it around so I can tie my bow. Now if you had a nice little bell, you could put the bell in the middle. If you had a big one like the size of your knuckle, I think that would be really cute. But personally, I think that would drive me nuts banging on my door every day. Or the wind blew, or I've done the door open, just hear it clanging. So I'm not going to do that. And that ribbon, I think it's a little bit too short for my liking. Now, I'm going to be a real Monica from Friends here, and I'm going to tie myself a nice big bit. I'll use that again, it's not going to be wasted. Oh, I know what my ribbon was. And then, so my ribbon's going to sit nice and flat, that's why I'm doing 2 separate pieces, because I hate like there's a gap in the ribbon, the door. Now in an ideal world, now you could get another piece of wider ribbon again. You could go for an 8 centimetre, which is really, really hard to find. But if you go to fabric shops, you can get them. And tie a nice big blousey bow. Which I don't really want a blousey bow, I just want a nice little simple. Now, we're done. That, ladies and gentlemen, is my tree for, or my wreath, not my tree. That is my wreath for 2019. And I hope that you could follow this, and I hope it's easy for you, and I hope that you can actually make your own successfully. Merry Christmas!